Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcome in the studio with me, my guy. He is the executive chef and part owner of Poitin. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Dominick Lee is in here with me. What's up, G?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm glad that you are here, man. First, let me just give you your props. Poitin is an incredible restaurant in the Heights here in Houston, and the food there is absolutely amazing. They were one of the restaurants that was featured during a Houston Black Restaurant Week. Talk about Poitin and the food that you all sell, and tell us about you being a chef.
Yeah, of course. So originally, I'm from New Orleans. I moved here about 5 years ago to go to culinary school. Came out. Houston just embraced me, and magical story. Someone called me up one day and was like, "Hey, do you want to build a restaurant with me and partner with me on a restaurant?" Which doesn't normally happen. And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So we built the restaurant, which is Poitin, located in the Heights. It started off because I had this love of food that, spans across different cultures. Mm-hmm. It started off with like multicultural food. And then over time, I realized that like my identity is the South. I'm from the South. Mm-hmm. I've eaten Southern food my whole life. This is just what I know. And so we built on that and began to really focus in on Southern food and using the diverse ingredients of Houston to create Southern food. Mm-hmm. Because what is Houston but a complete diverse culture that comes together to form one great city? Yes. So I literally just built on that thought process, and we really just go from there and make some really interesting items that all are Southern themed, but have like different variations based on the different ingredients that you can retrieve in Houston. So nice. That's really like I think like makes it special.
Yeah, it is, and it's very luxurious and upscale, if I do say so myself. So y'all should check out Poitin. But more importantly, you, along with 3 other chefs here in the city, you all have teamed up for this Food Apartheid Dinner Series that you're calling F.A.D, F-A.D.S.
Yes.
Tell us about what the Food Apartheid Dinner Series is, because it sounds intriguing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's meant to sound intriguing, and also like to have a strong name that incites thought. Yeah. So the purpose of the Food Apartheid Dinner Series was, originally we came together and we all wanted to cook together, 4 chefs, all just doing their things separately, but wanted to come together to show like, teamwork, and that we can come together as a people and do something together that benefits us all. And as our creative minds got together, we were like, hey, listen, you know what? We need to focus in on a project, like something that we can give back to the community. And we landed on food deserts because we as chefs directly affect and can educate people about those things. Food is our specialty, and fresh food is also our specialty. Each one of the chefs that are participating in this are all chefs that either know farmers, grow their own food, participate in going to the farmers market and serving it at their restaurants. So by doing food deserts, where they have, and food deserts for everyone by definition is a place inside of a city that has very limited access to fresh food. So if you choose an area that like has very limited grocery stores, or the fruit that's sold there is sold at the corner store that's been sitting there for a really long time and everyone passes it up. Yeah. That's a food desert. And on the other hand, there's what we would call a food oasis, which is an area where there are a multitude of grocery stores. So if there's a food desert, there's a food oasis, just so people can kind of wrap their minds around that concept. For sure. So we chose the name Food Apartheid Dinner Series because, and I've gotten in like social media arguments about this, because people automatically associate apartheid with South Africa, which is okay, but we say food apartheid because the word apartheid is actually the derivative of the word which from African language, which means separateness or apart, right?
Apart.
And typically, places that are food deserts are separate from the rest of everything else. Right. They're separated and by a income basis, because if there's no one spending money in the area, why would you put a grocery store there? Which would be the mentality of people building grocery stores. Like, it's a business. Right. To them, it's not about feeding people, it's about making money. Like chain grocery stores are there to make money.
Right.
So, and though they sell fresh food there, like, it's still like, their thought process. So what we've done is we are starting the conversation about bringing an open eye to what's going on. And in our dinner series, we're raising money by forming our own first nonprofit that benefits solely food deserts. Mm-hmm. But then 100% of the proceeds from our dinners are then transferred into the form of fresh food to give to the community that we've selected, which is the community around restaurant Indigo, who's one of the participating restaurants, and is basically the Trinity Gardens, Cashmere Gardens area right off of Berry Road. Yeah. And we're just going to have all of the people come out at the final event and then give them fresh food that we've gotten from the farms and also feed them these same items so that it comes full circle. Because people in food deserts not only can't get fresh food, mm-hmm. but aren't exposed to fresh food. Mm. They don't know that, like, what a fresh peach may look like or that a carrot comes out of the ground. So by giving them the fresh food, we expose them to it. By feeding them the fresh food, they know what it tastes like. Right. Then we'll have the urban harvest people come out who allow for SNAP benefits to double when spending at a farmer's market there, so that then they know where to get the fresh food, mm-hmm. right? Because the new farmer's market was just opened on the northeast side. That is right off of Lockwood, where that whole neighborhood can buy fresh food. So now it's full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
That's dope. You're listening to Access Houston, talking to Executive Chef Dominick Lee, Executive Chef at Poitin and owner of Poitin. He and 3 other chefs in the city have put together the Food Apartheid Dinner Series, which is currently going on right now. Name the other chefs who are participating with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I would start off with Chef Dawn Burrell from Kulture. So Culture is the one of the restaurants owned by Marcus Davis. And this restaurant is like, focused in on soul food and her reinterpretation of soul food. And it's very, very, very lovely place right there by Jar Jar Brown. Yeah. And she's an extremely talented chef. The second one is going to be Chris Williams, who is chef owner of Lucille's. So that's located in the museum district on La Branch. Yep. And Chef Chris also does, like, what he does is a play on Southern food while also, holding dear to his great-grandmother, Lucille, who was a chef and a published cookbook author from the 1940s. Wow. So, I mean, like, a lot of history there, very lovely place, just right there serving upscale Southern food and just doing a great job at it. Yeah. And then last but not least, Chef Jonny Rhodes from restaurant Indigo, who is doing what we call neo soul, which is, and the best way, I love the way he says it, is that it's the way that soul food would be if, people had received reparations, which is just an intense thought process.
Right. It is.
It makes you kind of go back and like think to yourself like, wow. Yeah. And so he's doing that, and it's a coursed out tasting menu, 5 courses, only 12 seats, 2 services, great time, and just something to really, really get your mind going. Yeah.
So I got to tell the story real quick. Over the summer on my birthday, our very own Keisha Nicole, who hosts Middays here on the box, took me to Poitin for my birthday. Got up with Dom. He hooked us up. And then he was like, yo, I want to invite y'all to Indigo. So we go to Indigo, as he described, 5 courses, just 12 seats. And it was quite the experience, just in so much history that Chef Jonny had taught us. And it was one thing that he said that was very important, you know, with everybody on this whole plant-based diet, the whole vegan thing. And and I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said, if I can remember it right. He said, you know, how can we continue to, you know, do all this, and yet we're not buying from the black farmers, or we're leaving, you know, the black farmers out, because they are the most important. I mean, everything that, you know, we eat when it comes to, you know, this new way of eating comes from the farms. And I was like, wow, he is absolutely right.
Yeah, and even then, you know, one of the other things that he said in conjunction with that is that, you know, the people from Africa were brought here to farm.
We were brought here for our agricultural
and
talents.
It's lost that, like, you know, that we have those talents often, that, you know, that we have these skills, and that's what we've been doing for so long. I mean, the same thing, like I told you, you know, he brought me into this thought process where I looked into my own family, and literally for 150 years in New Orleans, my family was farming.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they did.
Yeah. So so how long is this going on? And where can people get more information to, you know, come to the food series? Do they go to one of the restaurants that are participating? How can the people be down?
So the easiest way to go on there is to literally Google Food Apartheid Dinner Series, or go on your Facebook, type in Food Apartheid Dinner Series. Go on Instagram, same thing. Because, I mean, realistically, it's the most accessible, because everyone's always on their phone.
Right.
And, I mean, just real life.
Right.
And you just go on there, you type it in, the Eventbrite will pop up. It's going on the rest of the month until the end of September.
Okay.
We have really, really amazing events. It's a great dinner experience. And even if you can't make it out to a dinner experience on the Eventbrite, you can still make a donation and come out to the give back at Indigo, where we'll be, all of the chefs and myself will be doing live cooking, as well as giving back food to the community.
Oh, man. Well, I definitely got to be there.
You definitely have to be there.
Houston, Google Food Apartheid Dinner Series, and help us, you know, get it out there.
Yeah, bring awareness.
Bring awareness to it all, man, because this is some important things. And not only that, what I love about it the most is that you're educated.
Yeah.
You're getting educated on the history of it all, and it's just incredible concept. So, man, thank y'all for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I appreciate you coming on the program, bro, to
for
talk
sure
about this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to me. Like, you know, it's important that, like, you know, we get that conversation going and raise awareness.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not something that people think about all the time.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Chef Dominick Lee, executive chef and owner of Poitin, the Food Apartheid Dinner Series, happening now until the end of September. Just Google Food Apartheid Dinner Series, and it'll all come up. And so thanks again, Dominick.
Absolutely.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming on the program. First time, young, vivacious, funny, beautiful, talented, a boss. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the founder of This Woman's Work, the lovely Carla K. Lane. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm glad that you are here. You got a lot going on.
I do. Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And with This Woman's Work. This Woman's Work.
Yes.
This Woman's Work. Sorry, excuse the vocals.
I love it.
Tell us about This Woman's Work and your mission and why you came up with this nonprofit.
So This Woman's Work is an organization that's geared towards improving the lives of girls and women through mentoring, through a book club, a clothing closet. We do a lot of work, and it was born out of my for-profit business, which is Lane Staffing. It's a staffing company. Mm-hmm. And so as we do that work, I saw that there are women in particular, that do things when they're younger that keep them from being gainfully employed. So initially the mission was to mentor high school girls, and then it was ever evolving. You know, we had someone who was fired from a job at a wonderful oil company, but she wore club clothes. Mm. So what's the answer to that? A clothing closet. So it evolved into Carla's Closet, where it's set up like a boutique, and someone in need of work attire can come in and go shopping, and they can go to work. We do a a prom dress drive every year. Over the last 4 years, we have given away more than 3,500 dresses to girls in Houston and Dallas and Louisiana. It's just there's work to be done. And so this woman's work, I always say, is every woman's work because we really need to look out for each other. It is important that we solve our own problems, I think. So I wanted to be a part of it. Indeed.
And let me correct, because when you mentioned Lane Staffing, I'm like, hold on, like, y'all have been on this show before.
Oh, yeah. Lane Staffing, we are a community partner. I've been blessed to have been recognized in the business community. I sit on a couple of boards. I think that all of that is great. But when you succeed, I think it is the responsibility to give back to our communities in a meaningful way and not just writing checks. Our children need to see us. They have to see us because somebody needs to come behind me. They need to start another staffing company that's bigger than mine. They need to learn the lessons that I've learned, and I will pass them on and do it bigger. Each generation, I think, really should do better than the one before. And so that is this woman's work. That's the commitment.
And I'm glad that you are committed to that, because I don't hear a lot, even though it should be, because, you know, I have the same philosophy as you, each one teach one, that you are willing to pass down the information so, you know, the next generation can be successful. I have talked to so many people who don't seem to subscribe to that philosophy. And I'm just like, well, how did you get to where you were? You didn't do it by yourself. I mean, you didn't come out the womb like with all of these ideas and, you know, talking and getting things together. So that's really, really selfish. So thank you for that.
It is a responsibility, though. I really believe that. And when we do that, I think other people start to emulate it. So people will see, oh, she can do this, and nobody's going to take what she's achieved. That's, I think, a lot of that. The reason why people won't share information is they're afraid. But if you are secure in what you're doing and you know that you're walking and living in your purpose, then there's no competition. There is not. And when we talk about small business, the amount of work that we do, we just got crumbs. So if we could collaborate, we could get some slices.
Listen here. Come on, man.
But that's real if you think about it.
That has been my message, especially on this program, for years. Like, just imagine what we can do if we did all come together. I have this fantasy, and it's probably an erotic fantasy at this point, because I don't even know if it'll ever come to be. But that is for just to show the world, especially this country, but to show the world the power of the black dollar. Like, I pray for all black people to wake up and realize our own power. Like, we run this thing. Okay? First of all, it's ours. We are the black culture is American culture.
It is.
We move and push everything. And so I have this fantasy of just to show them our power. Like, if every black person in this country for 24 hours, if we set a specific date for 24 hours, do not buy anything.
Wow.
Watch what will happen to the world economy. Just for one day, 24 hours. Like that day, we set the date. Everybody, you get everything that you need before this day. But for 24 hours, you don't spend not a red cent. And see what happens.
See what happens. That's powerful. That is powerful.
Yeah.
I think for me, a girl that likes shiny things. And at one time, I really liked designer things. But then I started to see what they really think about us.
Come on.
And so, you know, I decided personally that I wasn't spending money that way. Now, I'm keeping my stuff.
Right,
So people say,
but you ain't getting no more.
Yeah, I don't have the kind of money I can burn my purses. However, you won't get no new money.
That's right.
And what I started to do was to shop with boutiques that are owned by black women.
Come on now.
And the amazing thing that happened, like I give Gucci my money and they say thank you and give me a receipt. But I go shopping at one of those boutiques and they give me a dress, or they know it's my birthday and they give me an outfit, because there's a different level of appreciation for my dollar when I shop with my folks.
Listen here. We need more Carla K lanes in the world. I'm the same way. Like, I live by, die by black. My doctor's black. My eye doctor's
Mine
black.
too.
My dentist is black. My mechanic is black. I bank black. I patron. I don't even buy my personal toiletries like soap and lotion and hair products from big brand stores anymore.
Really?
I patron black businesses that I find on Instagram that's making their own soaps or lotions and whatnot, and I buy my stuff through them now. Like I'm really, really about that life.
Oh, that's next level. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add that to
How
it
about
just
it?
taught me something.
You listen to Access Houston and talking to Carla K. Lane of This Woman's Work. She has her 4th annual Stilettos and Champagne fundraising reception, which is going to be at the Hobby Center. Tell us about Stilettos and Champagne. It's so luxurious and she.
It's me. So Stilettos and Champagne is our fundraiser, and we are raising money for scholarships. This year, we had the first group of girls that we've mentored from the time they were freshmen all the way to senior year. Wow. And amazingly, it's just a blessing to see the girls grow up. That's one. But all 6 of our girls are at 4-year universities. Most of them are first generation.
If y'all could see her face, how it's lit up and how proud she looks. Like it's amazing. Children.
When we met them, a lot of them were at the bottom of their class. They were underperforming, and most of them graduated top 5, top 10%. 2 of them are at U of H, which is my alma mater. So it's like, they want to go to U of H. And then we have one young lady who is at Prairie View A&M, and that's where my daughter is. So it's you can just see the mentoring. Of course, we've got a couple that went to Texas Southern. They're in the band. So these girls they're different. And it's been really amazing to see the evolution and what happens when you nurture. One of the things we did with my daughter, who's older than the girls that just graduated, was getting ready to go to college. I got her a tutor to help her with her college apps. I didn't even know that existed. Somebody told me to do it. Because when we went to college, you just kind of applied and went.
Right.
But now it's really competitive. So when we started talking about what we were going to do for the girls, I thought, why should my daughter have access to something that these babies don't? So we got them a college tutor. These girls were able to write their essays that were edited. They were able to get scholarships. One of our girls who didn't even know about the rodeo, had never gone to the rodeo, got a rodeo scholarship. It's just been amazing to see that when these children have access, there is no limit to what they can do.
Listen,
no limit.
Come on now. Who was that said that that was part of their acceptance speech in an award show? Viola Davis. A year or so ago, or maybe a couple of years, when she won, maybe it was an Emmy or an Oscar, one of the two, maybe an Emmy. And she said, just give us an opportunity. Mm-hmm. If we have the same opportunity on the same playing field, we can achieve. Just give us the opportunity.
And that is absolutely the truth. I have seen it. When these girls have access to a psychiatrist, a therapist, a college tutor. Every second Saturday, they meet. Our mentors are some of the most successful Black and brown women in Houston. And so second Saturday, we hang out, we talk about everything very candidly. They're surrounded by love. And the teachers, a lot of our girls go to Madison High School. And all 6 of the girls that graduated were at Madison. And the teachers would say, hey, there's something different about this kid. Because they had been embraced by a group of women that are voluntarily loving them. And I think that's something that is wonderful, because even for my daughter, getting to be around the group, she developed a group of mentors that supported her, because the thought is your mother is going to tell you that you're beautiful. Your mother is going to say that you're capable. But here you are, these women who don't know you. So you don't feel they have those biases, and they're pouring into you and saying, I see you, and saying that you're important. It is life-changing. We got to raise money so these babies can go to school and stay. And so what I want to do is not just give the scholarship when they graduate. I want to be able to do 4-year scholarships to help with books, to help with the things that come up, because financial aid helps with some stuff.
Right.
But when you need a book, or you need some paper, or you need toilet paper,
right,
where does that money come from? When you're in the dorm, if you don't have a family that can send you a care package, what happens? Well, I want This Woman's Work to follow our girls, because I don't want them just to have gone to college. I want our girls to graduate from college.
Come on now.
That's what we're doing. It's a beautiful event. It's fun because I like to have fun. Yeah. It's fancy because I like all of that.
Well, I mean, it's at the Hobby Center, so fancy.
You know, we like that. But it is about scholarships. And our girls will be there at the event. We've got people who are going to make sure they're made up and they're dressed up, and they will be there to talk about the program.
So
and
this is going to be like black tie?
Oh, it's black tie, cocktail, and we're going to have shoe cam. I love shoes. Oh, yeah. So we're going to have shoe cam, and those who want to walk the catwalk, yes, hit it. Those that love that love shoes, they can walk the catwalk. It's going to be a really fun night. Music, dancing, just a ball.
Yeah, and the fundraiser is?
It is September 28th at 6 p.m. at the Hobby Center. Tickets are available at thiswomanswork.biz. And we'd love for the community to come out and support us and see what This Woman's Work is. And to every woman, this woman's work is your work. This woman's work is every woman's work. You got to be involved. If you're going to talk about our babies, you need to show up for them.
Hey, how about it? Because it takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you are one of the leaders on the front line making that change happen.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
And whenever you want to come back, talk about whatever y'all got going.
I appreciate that because we got some stuff coming up. We've got the Girls Summit coming up in January.
Okay.
We have girls all over Houston coming to hear some great speakers. And the thing about This Woman's Work is you never pay for anything. That's why we got to raise the money.
Listen here. Support. Where can they go? Even if they can't, attend on Saturday the 28th for Stilettos and Champagne, the 4th annual Stilettos and Champagne fundraising reception at the Hobby Center. Where else can they go to
They can go
donate?
to thiswomanswork.biz and register online, and we will keep you up to date on all that is happening. Like I said, January is Girls Summit. March is Prom Dress Drive. So do not give those dresses away. I want them, and we will be all over Houston. We have lots of fun. You guys came out. Mm-hmm. We were jamming, having a good time, collecting dresses, sorting dresses, shoes, eyelashes, hair, because we got to be laced for the prom.
Right.
So bring us some hair.
Right. Listen here. This has been amazing. So thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for your spirit. You're amazing.
Thank you.
The amazing Carla K. Lane of This Woman's Work. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me and just letting me talk like I like to.
No doubt. That's what it's for,
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.